This for me?
I wish I'd known someone like you. Maybe the world wouldn't feel so lonely. An alley in San Francisco. The door to a small cafe called Maria's Brew opens at 5:30 a.m. Maria is in her early 50s, a black woman with silver hair pulled back. She handles the espresso machine with one hand while baking bagels with the other. A year ago, when her husband left, this cafe became her entire world. Her daughter lives her own life back east. 7 a.m. The street outside isn't crowded yet. But there's always someone sitting in the same spot. A man in a worn brown jacket, James. He sits on the bench, looking up at the sky. His fingers are covered in scars, and his face looks like it hasn't been shaved in weeks. Was he someone's father? Someone's husband? In this city, those questions don't matter. 8 a.m. Sharp. The first customers start coming in. Businessmen, a woman back from yoga, older folks unfolding newspapers. One of them glances out the window and turns to Maria. That man out there. Is he here every day? It's kind of making me uncomfortable. Maria doesn't stop. Her hands keep moving, but her eyes go cold. He's one of our regulars. The cafe goes quiet. Maria takes a warm cup of coffee outside. James sees her coming but can't look up. He's been avoiding people's eyes for too long. I made blueberry muffins today. They're better when they're warm. She doesn't say his name doesn't matter, or that she doesn't need to know his past, or why he sits on this bench. Instead, she just hopes he drinks the coffee while it's still hot. Is this real? 3 p.m. The cafe isn't as busy as it was this morning. Maria looks out the window. James is still there, and the coffee cup is empty. That empty cup says everything. When you give something to someone, that means something, especially at her age. If you've ever been alone, you know this. When you really see someone, really look at them, the whole world changes. In the face of that warmth, 30 years of time and a lost soul start to melt away. 5 p.m. Closing time. Maria wipes down the tables alone, straightens the chairs alone, puts on music and dances alone. Outside, James wraps himself in a blanket. But that night, he feels something for the first time. Someone saw him as a human being. Stories sometimes start this way. Not with big events, but with a warm cup of coffee. 3 more months go by. August in San Francisco, the sun's cold and the wind is sharp. But there's always someone on the bench outside Maria's cafe. Every morning at 7:30. Exactly then, James appears, and Maria's waiting for him. It's not charity anymore. It's a promise. A Wednesday afternoon. Maria realizes what her hands are making. Not coffee soup. Soup for James. Carrots, potatoes, and broth that Maria woke up before dawn to make from bones, deep and flavorful. No one asks. Everyone already understands what Maria's giving James. So this is what it means to take care of someone. 2 p.m. Maria carries the warm bowl outside. James is still on the bench, and this time his eyes are open. When the smell of soup hits him, he looks up. In 3 months, it's the most emotion he's shown. Surprise, gratitude, confusion all mixed together. This, for me? Maria doesn't answer. The answer's already in that bowl. James's hands shake. He hasn't received anything from anyone in a long time. Another week passes. Now James hands Maria the empty soup bowl before she even asks. And maybe it's different that day, or maybe James is different. He opens his mouth. Really speaks. His voice sounds old and broken. Why? Why don't you look away? On this street, ignoring someone is easy. No one breaks the law. No one makes a scene. People just move past. Maria hears that question and never gets angry. Because someone's appearance isn't all they are. When she says it, the whole street goes silent. No traffic, no footsteps, no wind, just James's breathing. And it's shaking. 10 p.m. The cafe closes. When Maria goes to turn off the lights, she looks outside. James is still there, and his shoulders are moving up and down. He's crying. For the first time in 30 years. In front of someone who saw him as human. I need to be there for him now. From that night on, Maria's cafe became James's home. Not just the 7:30 promise, but a warm space where he could be all day. A red cushioned chair appears in one corner. And the barista's hands are now for just one person. Love isn't always flashy. Sometimes it starts somewhere quiet and deep, like a warm bowl of soup. Another month goes by. By September, James starts muttering to himself more. The building papers. Maria doesn't ask. In a cafe like this, you don't ask those questions. This is a place where you let things go. But one day, wrinkled papers keep falling out of James's pocket. Maria notices but doesn't say anything. Instead, Maria starts bringing other things. First, a black shirt sized just right for James. Then new shoes. She knows his feet are scarred. Then washcloths and toiletries arranged so James can clean himself with warm water Maria provides. Nobody says anything, but everyone understands what Maria's giving James. Who does this for someone like me? A week later, James looks different. He's wearing the shirt, he's got shoes on, his face is clean. It's not just a change. It's a transformation. Like a dead man slowly waking up, his eyes are coming back to life. Customers barely recognize him. Wait, is this the homeless guy who's always here? But James doesn't care anymore. A Saturday afternoon, James really looks at Maria. Eye contact. Real eye contact. And what he says is simple, but it's the deepest thing. You didn't treat me like I was dead. You treated me like I was alive. Maria doesn't answer. Instead, she hands him something else. A brown leather jacket, the kind of quality she'd recognized when he was wearing those old rags. James's hands shake. His scarred fingers tremble. That evening, James asks a deeper question. Who are you? Why? Why are you so kind? Maria smiles. Not a sad smile, not a happy one. It's the smile you give when you've waited a long time for someone and they finally wake up. It's not kindness. I just saw you. That one sentence changes everything. Not the clothes, not the food. Just that one moment. Night falls, and the cafe lights turn golden. Maria makes one more drink for James. A drink without a name yet apple, cinnamon, honey. James drinks it and smiles for the first time. In front of someone, after 30 years. Did I find him, or did he find me? It's such a mystery, how people change. A shirt alone won't do it. A meal isn't enough. What you need is someone's eyes. That gaze that says, you're a person. That alone, and 30 years of darkness starts to dissolve. The first week of October. James looks different. He's wearing the brown leather jacket Maria gave him, and he's carrying an old briefcase. When Maria sees it, her hands freeze. Something big is about to happen. She feels it. James sits at the quietest table. And he looks at Maria. 30 years is in those eyes. I own this street's buildings. Maria doesn't move, but something gets lighter, like the world's weight just dropped. Or maybe she already knew. When you really see someone, their secrets become transparent. James's voice is low and echoes. 30 years ago, I lost my family in this city. My wife, my daughter. Car accident. After that, I drank. I lost everything. The buildings, the money, my dignity. Maria still doesn't move, but tears run down both her cheeks. But you saw me as human. That's everything. James pulls old things from the briefcase. Things he's carried through 30 years on city streets. First, a business card. James Mitchell, real estate developer, printed on it. Then keys. A whole bunch of keys. Each one meant a building. Every building on this street was mine. but alcohol and regret swallowed me whole. He slowly holds up the key to the building where Maria's cafe stands. This building, it's mine too. The cafe goes quiet. Customers hold their breath, but Maria's face is calm. Like she already knew. Maybe she really did. Because when you see someone as a person, their past and their status become invisible. Whoever owns the building, I'll keep doing things the same way. When those words ring out, James finally smiles. For the first time in 30 years, in front of someone, he smiles. James pulls out papers, the deed to the building. He puts them in Maria's hands. I'm putting this away. You stay here. I want you to never change. Maria doesn't take the papers. Instead, she takes James's hand. It's not shaking anymore. It's warm. That night, the cafe doesn't close. James and Maria sit together, drinking coffee. No one speaks, but they've already said enough. With a sincere look, with acceptance, they've found what a real home feels like for the first time. Money and buildings you can lose, but a heart that wakes up because of someone's eyes that belongs forever to the person who made it come alive. The papers are in Maria's filing cabinet. Unopened. The cafe is still Maria's Brew. The sign, the door color, the yellow napkins on the tables, everything's the same. Maria chose not to change. That's what James wanted. By November, James opens an empty building down the street. He calls it the Home Again Community Center. There, he gathers homeless people and shares his story. I lost this, I lost that. But someone saw me. Because of that, I lived again. Maria's cafe becomes the center's first stop. A month passes. One Saturday afternoon, a grandmother and her granddaughter walk into the cafe. The granddaughter's about 7, holding the grandmother's hand tight. After looking around, the grandmother asks Maria, "Ma'am, do you know James?" Maria smiles. "Yes, I do. He told me about you. That you're the person who saved him. That's why I came." After that, the cafe fills with more people. People from the center, their families, their friends. Everyone feels the same thing in Maria's cafe. Someone sees you. Someone welcomes you. No conditions. That afternoon, the granddaughter asks Maria, "Miss, why do you smile at everyone?" Maria brushes the little girl's hair. Her fingers are still warm. "Because I learned something. That one person's warmth can change the world." The granddaughter might not understand, but the grandmother does. That's what matters most. Warmth is such a small thing. One cup of coffee, one greeting, one look in the eye. These tiny things add up and can give a person 30 years back. And then that person lifts someone else up, and that someone cares for another. This is how the world slowly changes. We always judge people by how they look. The person on that bench. The one in worn clothes. The quiet one. But if you've lived long enough, you know something. The most precious things hide where no one looks. If you could see someone the way Maria did, really look at them, accept them as they are, the world could become a little bit better. That's what this story teaches. Not money, not status, only warmth saves a person. This story is a work of fiction.